they understand. Do you get what I mean? So yeah, I'm a philosopher, a poet. So how long have I been a poet for? Since last October? No, the start of December. How did I become a poet? I told myself that I was going to spend 5 to 10 minutes on poetry every single day. That was me taking the leap, and I think this is a good way to ease ourselves into the the rest of taking the leap. How we go about taking the leap. Um, I made it easy for myself. So 5 to 10 minutes on my poetry, and I set myself the goal of 50 poems by the end of this December. You know how many poems I got? I got over 300 poems. Isn't that fucking insane? Because it's like it's a habit, right? It's work, but sometimes the mind is flowing, and you rhyming and you want to tell a story. Maybe it's something that happened that day. Maybe it's something that happened 20 years ago. Maybe there's some self-reflection or some discovery that's gone on, and I'm feeling creative because I'm not a very creative person. That's I guess, my way of my creative expression. But then you heard the poem on the last episode. It hits you here, right? That's where I want to hit you. See, with my poetry, I start with I start with a bang, central message, and I'll come full loop, full loop, full loop, full loop, full loop, bang! I'll hit you. I'll hit you right in the heart. You know why I do that? I want to make you think. And that's where philosopher and poet converge. And as you get to hear more of my poetry, you understand what I mean. But yeah, it's been beautiful. So I send out a morning message every morning, and that's it's such a blessing being able to do that. So yeah, quite a few people get the morning message. That's just me sending out my love, sending out my blessings, sending out my gratitude. Shouting out the beautiful people's on some of the goals that they achieve, or sometimes they're going through hard times. That's what the morning message is about. Is sending love out to the people's, lifting people's up. Sometimes you wake up and you're shitty. I read, and don't get it twisted. Lots of people get the message, and it's it's crazy, eh? Like, even if one person reads it out of that, however many people it is, that's beautiful. That's love I sent out there. Even if the people don't read it, they know Z sending out that love, because that's what Z does every single fucking morning. That's something that I don't miss. I can't miss. I got to send that love out there, and I do. Like, don't get it twisted. I do it to help others, but I do it for myself too, because I believe in the notion of what you send out into this world, it's gonna come back, eh? Like, and it does. I'm blessed with beautiful friends, a beautiful community, a community that I help create. That's that's something. That's something, and that makes me remember to shout out the Nothing But Love podcast. We threw down 2 episodes on the Thursday just gone. That was good fun. But yeah, all right. So taking the leap. How do we take the leap? You know how? What do you do when you start something? You start, right? That's the biggest one. Start. Easier said than done. Okay, I'm gonna get into that. All right, you with me? I am gonna get into that. But there's a step before that that you that is important, and it only really came to me today. And you got to make the leap the priority. See, when that word was created by the Latins, I think might have been the Greeks. Probably should have checked that one. There was no priorities. It was priority. What is your priority? Sounds funny when I say it like that. Eh? Come on now. But yeah, so you got to make it your priority. How do you do that? Like, really? How do you make something your priority? You learn about it. You you research the shit out of it. You work out what you can control, what you can't control. You get prepared. You know what you do? You break it down. You break it down. But we're not going to get to that because that's how you actually like actually take the leap. We're going to get to that. Don't worry. Bear with me. Priority. You got to make it a priority, okay? The leap. It's got to be your end all be all, right? Like that's, and I don't mean like let it overwhelm you or overwhelm your life. Like, yeah, make sure you're realistic. When you think you're ready to make it a priority, it has to be realistic. Like, don't quit your job when you got 3 kids and you need to keep working, right? I had to wait six weeks to leave my job. That's the time frame that I set, and it was 6 weeks. Isn't that crazy? But I got kids, like I got bills to pay. I I had to do what I was doing until I sorted out more work, and then look what that got me. I dead set. Like now I'm waiting on the work, even though it should all be set in stone. But you know what happens? Life happens. Stiff shit, Z. It'll only make me stronger. But yeah, make it a priority. Okay. Sometimes I know sometimes it's hard. But if your excuse and and I know that's a little bit harsh, but at the end of the day, like excuse, justification, whatever you want to call it, I make them all the time, but I'm doing better. I make less of them, and that should be the focus. But that's what they are. Time is an excuse for your priority. It's your priority. That's your end all be all. That's your livelihood. Oh, that's right. Sorry, my apologies. I lost that train of thought. Realistic. It has to be realistic. Okay, like if you got tons of debt and you want to start a business venture, well, how are you going to service that business venture when you got tons of debt? Is that like a financially responsible decision? And I wouldn't call myself financially responsible, but we're slowly getting there. Isn't that cool? That's yeah. I'm actually up to date with my taxes and all. You could almost say I took the leap. Anyway, realistic. What what do you need to take the leap? Let's keep it real. What do you need? Resilience, confidence, and a bit of self esteem. Eh? How do you build the last two? Building your resilience. Once you get to work on building your resilience, the confidence and the self esteem naturally come. Okay, how do you build your resilience? By doing things that are a little bit hard. Not not so hard that they overwhelm you, but a little bit challenging because you want to what I call prime the brain and get it used to doing hard things. And and it doesn't have to be like don't make it too hard for yourselves. Don't make it too big for yourselves because we're going to get to this, right? Like the concrete steps. I talk shit. Concrete steps. You will take away what you want from this, I guess. But resilience, okay? You need to just keep doing hard things. What kind of hard things? Things you don't want to do. So the things you've been putting off, start with the little things. Find the little things like I have to cancel a gym membership that I've been paying since just before Christmas that I don't even go to this gym, and I pay for another gym membership. Why I need to go get that done tomorrow? So like that's a little thing. See, I'm forever building resilience, right? Because like you get home, you've done long hours, you're tired, but this is what I'm getting at. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter, right? If you want to build that resilience to have that confidence to take the leap, then you got to do these little things, these hard things, and oh, you know what else you got to stop doing? I just realized then what we were talking about before. You got to stop making excuses. Whew. It's a tough one, isn't it? Yeah. You got to stop making excuses. We can't keep banging on about how we got no time, too busy, not enough money, because there's always alternatives and different options that, yeah, you know what I mean? Because it's not just resilience, right? When you take the leap, that shit's courageous. That's bravery in real time, you know? Because taking the leap, it's fucking scary. I'm gonna keep it real with you. Like I'm not getting it twisted. Shit's scary. And let me tell you fellas right now, like I say all this with just love, no judgment. I ain't got no right to judge anybody. You'll learn that in due time. But resilience, confidence, self-esteem, these are the big ones. Then the bravery and courage will come. How do you build that resilience? By doing hard things. What do I mean by hard things? I mean things that aren't too hard. You know what I mean? Like, say you're learning to play the guitar. Well, you just want to learn the first chord rather than all four chords at the same time. Do you get what I mean? And that way, the brain's clicking with that. It's not becoming overwhelmed, because that's what creates the emotions that we elicit: the fear, the anxiety, the panic, the freaking out. That's all because the body is overwhelmed. When we experience these emotions, that's the body being overwhelmed. That's the brain being overwhelmed. That's the body, everything, and it's been thrown out of whack. And we've got to come back to center. And that's very important to keep in mind. Coming back to center, especially when we are engaging in building that resilience and doing the hard things. It's frustrating as fuck. But we've got to stop making excuses. We're adults. We don't get the cop out, you know? Like, look at the way we teach our kids. We tell them to do shit. Sometimes we don't even show them. How the fuck are they going to do shit if they don't know how to do shit? If they're not shown how to do shit, they can't do shit. That's why I can't do shit. I love my parents, you know, power to them, but I can't do shit. And that's for a reason. And I'm not perfect. No, 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 no. The next big mission is camping. We're gonna take the leap. Oh shit! You just can come on that journey with me. Not on the camping journey, but the taking the leap journey. Oh, if I must say, butterflies in the stomach. Even just thinking about it. I wouldn't say I'm a camper. I'm a resorter. You know, this. Oh, we're gonna take a quick break. Love you, fellas. Beautiful peoples, welcome back. So I was just talking about my next really, really big leap, which will be camping with the boys. And now that I've said it on here, I've got to follow through. Got to practice what I preach. Don't I? Can't fuck around with that one. Anyway, I think it's time to chat about how I go about taking the leap. And